Here's Mr. Kaufman with another High Five History short on the growth of towns in medieval Europe, this time with a focus on trade and commerce. So, trade and commerce in medieval Europe grew with the rise of towns. Here this image is of a medieval marketplace in the late Middle Ages, and you can see it's bustling with people, right? Filled with people trading silks or other cloth fabrics on the right side, on the left side selling goods that they would have made in that town or merchants would have found in other regions of the world and then brought to the market to sell. So with the decline of feudalism and the rise of towns, gave an increase in trade. So in feudalism, right, very few people had access to goods from other regions of Europe or other regions of the world. But only the wealthy, the nobles, and the monarchs really had the ability and the means to trade luxury goods from other places of the world. Most people, peasants and serfs, right, would have no access to any of that. What you needed to live, you made at your feudal manor. But this begins to change with the rise of towns and the increase of trade. And so now everybody is able to go to the market and not just get luxury goods, but everyday goods as well, right? Things like food and clothing. With that merchant, right, a merchant class begins to rise. They became wealthy merchants, and with their wealth, they also gained power. How did they do that? They would get goods from faraway lands, right? They would get goods from the Middle East and from Asia, spices from India, and they would be able to bring those things to Europe and then, again, trade or sell them in the markets. And because they gained this wealth, they ended up dominating the business life in the town as well as gaining powerful seats on town councils and really gaining a little bit of a political influence. Now, not everyone had it so good in medieval towns. There was definitely a prejudice against Jews, and because of that, Jews would be discriminated against, having a hard time making a living or holding down jobs. Sometimes it would end in violence. But one thing that Jews were able to do is become bankers. The way it worked is Christianity at this time thought that gaining interest on a loan, right, the key to banking was a sin, right? It just was not okay to do if you were a Christian. So who was left to do the banking? The Jews. So it was one place in these towns where they found a little niche, right? A place they could carve out for their own. That's it. That's the quick video on trade and commerce in medieval Europe. If you want to see more, go to the YouTube High Five History channel and you can see other shorts on the rise of towns in medieval Europe.